If you have watched my previous videos, you probably know how to check Chinese supplier's background in 8 different aspects, such as verifying if the supplier is a manufacturer or trading company, check their business history, and check all types of certifications. However, all these methods are only suitable to identify if the supplier is reliable, but not enough for you to decide who is the most worthy one to place order. Because just by checking supplier's background, you probably will get several similar suppliers that all have good backgrounds. How can you know who should be the best choice to start the business? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video, and what aspects you can compare between the last few suppliers before you finally place order. Welcome to watch the Import from China guide video series. I'm Jing, the founder of JingSourcing, the leading China sourcing company since 2015. I will teach you the most practical tips to import quality product from China, and make sure you get subscribed. Of course, the first thing that you can compare between suppliers is the price. However, you cannot just simply choose anyone who offers the lowest price, because there should be some reasons why his price is much lower than others. Maybe their quality is not as good as others, such like they use much thinner material to make the product. Maybe the actual product size is smaller than others, but you cannot tell the size difference just on product photos. Or maybe the price they quote you is for overstock products instead of a newly made. Once these products are sold out, they will quote you a much higher price for starting a new production if you want to reorder the product in the future. Even though all suppliers you find are manufacturers, it's still very normal that they have 10 to 30% price difference for the same product. Because each factory's scale is different, their cost on management or manufacturing is also different. And in my previous video, how socks and pantyhose are made, I have brought you to 2 factories. One is the largest in the world and the other is quite a small one. But their price for making the same socks or pantyhose is about 40 to 50% different. So if you represent a big retailer to purchase product, a very small supplier such like a 10 workers factory is obviously not qualified, no matter how cheap price they can offer. In conclusion, when you are comparing the price between suppliers, you need to try to figure out why their price are so much different and if you can accept all the reasons. Except for prices, the second important thing that you can compare between different suppliers is the sample's quality. No matter what kind of business background the supplier has, what price they quote, or how do they promise you the product quality should be good, you always need to get a product sample in hand to judge if they can produce good quality. If you are satisfied with a supplier's quote, ask him to ship you a sample, which is from their previous bulk production. And of course, you need to pay the sample and shipping cost. Well, here's a very interesting thing about the sample fee. For example, you want to purchase 500 units of teddy bears, and the price is about $2 each. Don't be surprised that the suppliers will quote you a sample fee about $30, but actually the retail price for this item on Amazon is only $10. That is because the $30 sample fee has included the international courier service, which is provided by companies like FedEx and DHL. They will have a minimum charge like $20 to $30 even if you ship a piece of paper. Well, if you are satisfied with 3 to 4 suppliers quote and want to get sample products from all of them, it will easily cost you more than $100. And if you want to source 5 different products, and for each product you want to compare at least 3 suppliers, then the total sample cost will be at least $500. That's really a large amount of cost before you're purchasing any products. So in this kind of situation, I strongly recommend you to have someone that you can trust in China. It could be a certain sourcing agent, just like what my company is doing now. We help you collect samples from different suppliers, check quality, and put good quality samples in one box to ship to you. That can help you save hundreds of dollars on shipping. However, if you are not purchasing an existing product, instead you want to develop a new product, then the strategy for getting samples is different. Situation 1 is the product sample can be made by hand, such like plush toys, apparels, backpacks. Manufacturer usually will charge you $100 to $200 to help you customize a sample according to your design. If they can get all fabrics and accessories well prepared, a sample product can be made in just 1 week. So you can let 1 or 2 suppliers to make samples. If you are not satisfied with them, then try other suppliers. Situation 2. If the product should have mold created first, such like plastic-made products, creating mold will cost thousands of dollars and at least take 30 days to create the mold, get the sample tested and made. So I recommend you to compare suppliers on other aspects to choose the final supplier first, then only pay money to the best suppliers to create the sample, because it's too expensive and time consuming. The number 3 aspects you can compare the last several suppliers is the communication between you and the supplier's sales representative. Even though I put these aspects in the third position, I always believe it's as important as price. And as a leading China sourcing company, when we are helping our client to find suppliers, we also take suppliers' communication quality as one of the main reasons to decide if we can place order to them. Because through the communication, we can feel that if they are professional enough, if they are responsible persons. However, even we speak the same language as Chinese suppliers, we don't have the time zone or cultural difference, but we still find it's really a nightmare to deal with those who have very bad communication skills. For example, if you have repeated so many times about how the product should be made, but in the end, you still find the product is not made according to your requirements. So you have to spend huge effort to argue with them to either remake the product or refund the money. And it should be more difficult for you to deal with Chinese suppliers in this kind of situation, since most of them are not so good in either English writing or speaking. And also, Chinese suppliers usually prefer to hire new graduates to contact with foreign clients because of the lower salary. However, those new graduates, they lack of experience, don't know how to serve clients, and only very small percentage of them have good communication skills. Well, by my experience, a good communication should have 2 symbols. Number 1, the supplier always can understand what you need. For example, I have sent a testing inquiry to several suppliers on Alibaba by asking the price, what is the cost to customize, and also estimated shipping cost to the United States. However, there's only one supplier who answered all my questions, but the rest suppliers replied with quite similar content like this one. Not replying to any of my questions, but introducing their company background. Number 2, the supplier is professional enough in his industry and can always give suggestions. A very good example is that we helped an American client develop a self-stirring function baby bottle. We gave the supplier our client's prototype, which is made by a local American company. And we asked them to estimate a quote for massively producing this item. However, they didn't start to estimate the cost right away, but gave us a lot of suggestions to change the electronic components, redesign the circuit board, redesign the inside structure of the product. By doing this, the cost of each product has reduced around 20%. The number 4 thing you can compare between the last few suppliers is the lead time, which means after you place order, how long it takes to produce and get all products ready to ship. For most of cases, if you place a few thousand US dollars order to a supplier, usually they need to help you start a new production and it will take like 20 to 30 days. Well, the lead time still depends on product industry, the production capacity of the manufacturer, and also their production schedules. But if you want to customize apparel such as lingerie, the lead time could be at least 40 to 60 days because it includes a lot of steps which last a very long time, such as sourcing fabrics and accessories, dyeing the products. So if you have several supplies options and their price are not so different, of course it's better to choose the one who has shorter lead time. Maybe he has a larger production capacity or don't have very full production schedules. And if you are purchasing some trending products such as the fidget spinner or hoverboard in years ago, you'd better choose those suppliers who can deliver the product right away, even if the price is much higher than others. Because one of the key points to making money on this kind of products is to take the quickest action. If many people realize the opportunity of this product, it's too late to start selling it. The number 5 thing that you can compare between the last few suppliers is the shipping cost and shipping solutions. If you have own freight forwarder who can help you ship products from Chinese suppliers to your country, then you don't need to consider this aspect. But if you don't have one and you prefer to let a supplier to help you handle the logistics, then you have to not just only compare on the product price, but also compare on the logistic costs and solutions. It usually happens that some suppliers offer very low product price to attract customers because they know that you are comparing on prices. So they don't supposed to make money on product, but want to make more money on the shipping fee after you place order. It's also normal that if they haven't shipped to your countries a lot, they will get high shipping quote from freight forwarders that will also increase your total cost of importing this product. So you need to combine the product cost and the shipping cost together and compare the total cost between all suppliers. In addition, if you are from countries or areas such like Africa, Latin America, Eastern Europe, that there are not so many freight forwarders can offer the service to deliver to door and handle the import custom clearance, you'd better choose suppliers who have the shipping solutions to your country instead of choose those who can offer lower product price. Thank you for watching today's video. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment, and I hope all these skills can help you simply find out the best suppliers to make your product. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.